Hello, land seekers. Look, if you're looking for land, well, you know the routine. You're in the right place because tonight I'm going to cover with you the 28 properties that we have available right now with seller financing. And what that means is that you can get the land that you want without needing to run down to the bank and qualifying for a loan or a mortgage or whatever. These are properties that you can get without any of that mess. I'm Scott from landmodo.com, and I'm glad you're here, and this channel is dedicated to helping you make your land ownership dreams a reality so you can start living your dreams today. Now, before we get into the properties, I just like to remind everybody, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. I enjoy sharing this time with you guys. All of the properties that you're going to see tonight, they're all available on landmodo.com. Landmodo is a land listing platform that connects you directly to the sellers who will offer these properties I'm about to show you with owner financing. Seller financing, well, that means that there's no credit check, no background check, no banks, no hassles, and sometimes it's also called owner financing because the owner is actually providing the financing for you. A lot of times when you're dealing with the owner, you get to deal with some of the other benefits that go along with that, like low down payments and monthly payments. It's amazing how affordable land really does become. It's oftentimes less than a car payment, and it's really kind of cool for me to be able to see people find the properties that they're looking for, and I hope that you can find one tonight. Now, tonight you'll hear me talk about these buckets, bucket 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I list what these buckets mean to me and to you down in the description below. So take a look at that if you're kind of confused by what we're looking for. And I see that Leo's asking, do you have rural land for sale? Oh yeah, we have a lot of rural land for sale. And again, tonight I'm just going to feature 28 properties, but look, on landmodo.com, there are over 3,500 listings in tons of states. So yeah, and D's looking for bucket 3. So let's see if we can find some bucket 3 land. And some of you are like, bucket 3, what? Again, it's in the description below, and I'll explain it. I know I will. Now, here's the thing. Here's the cool deal. I'd like to share with you the states that I'm going to cover tonight. So let me bring this graphic up real fast. You'll see we're talking about Arizona. Every week I've got land in Arizona. California, tonight I have one property in California, Colorado, Florida, Indiana. Indiana, we've never had a property in Indiana on this show. So Indiana's coming in the house tonight. Nevada. Some people don't like the way I say it. I'm sorry. It's just the way I say it. North Carolina, Oregon, Texas with a question mark. Because, yeah, I've got a property in Texas that some of you might be interested in. And again, all of these properties I'm going to cover tonight, specifically, if you want to see all of them, well, you can go right here. I don't know if I can. Well, I can't do my arm that way. I guess I can, yeah. landmodo.com/deals, and that will show you all of the properties that are here tonight. I'm also going to show you, when I talk about these properties, I want to also show you something called a short code. And what this short code is you'll see it's going to be right here, and I'll point it out to you, but it is a simple way of accessing the property when we're done tonight. So with that, let's just move forward. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump into the state of Arizona. Why? Because, well, it's always first. It's always first. Okay. Maybe one day we'll have an Alabama, but for now we don't. So essentially, let's just jump right into this. This is a 2-acre property in Apache, Arizona. The thing about Apache is that when I think about Apache, I think of kind of 2 different areas of Apache. The first area of Apache is that recreational land. That's that bucket 3 that D is looking for. Bucket 3, recreational land. This is stuff that you want to go camping on, hunting on, fishing on. It's a place to go and to ATV ride. Okay, so bucket 3 properties. There's a lot of bucket 3 properties across Arizona, but in Apache, I think of like 2 different areas. Apache has that bucket 3 property, and that's more of in the northern section of the county. As you start to go down into other areas, you start to get that more land that you can live on. So essentially, what we're looking at here is we're looking at a property that's a family playground. You'll see it's in the headline right there. That tells me right there it's a bucket 3 property. Now, could you live on this property? Absolutely. Every property I'm going to show you today is something that you could live on. That's what that bucket 1 is. You could live on that property. Some of these properties, especially as Leo's asking, Leo's saying like, what about the rural stuff? Well, in the rural stuff, well, yeah, bucket 1, that means that you're looking for a place to live today. And bucket 1, you could live on this property today. However, it's probably going to be an off-the-grid property. Now, if that doesn't bother you, well, okay. You got generator, solar panel. Some people just want a place to get away, and that's fine. So to me, this property is a great bucket 1, bucket 3 property. Bucket 4. Now, what is a bucket 4 person? A bucket 4 investor is someone who's looking for land for the long term. There's properties that I'll buy, and I have no desire to really do anything with them. I hold them because land goes up in value over the long term. And it's really weird because like any other asset, the longer that you hold it, the more value you're going to get out of it, the more appreciation you're going to get. Land is no different in that case. And so there's properties that I will hold for, long periods of time. And if I were looking for a long-term investment, look at this one. Okay. Now we start to talk about the total price, $5,200. But think about what this is saying. This is a property that you can get for less than $100 down and less than $100 a month. You guys know that I love properties when they're less than $100 down and $100 a month. I bring out the $100 for that, right? Like it's pretty cool. And land sellers, if you're listening to me, make more like this because these things are incredible deals. And you'll see the terms on there, 60 months. Now, what's that short code I mentioned? Okay, like the short code is right here. lmoto.ws / and then the number. In this case, it's 73,139. Now, what do you do with this thing? Well, first of all, write it down on a piece of paper because when this is over, when this video is over, go back and go to your web browser and type in that up at the very top up there where you would normally type in google.com or whatever you search for. Just type that in and it will take you directly to this property where you'll get zoning information and all of the details and more pictures. I can only show one picture at a time. So that's the deal. All right, so that's a great first property to start off with. Here's another property. Man, look at this. We're two out of two. I'd love to do all of them like this. I know it's not going to happen. I should see how far I can go. $100 down, $100 a month. Navajo, 1.33 acres, $2,400. $2,400 for the entire purchase price. Now, what's the deal here? What's the deal? Well, this is definitely not a property that you're going to move on to and you're going to build your dream home. This property is in Holbrook, Arizona. So it's on the north side of Navajo County there. Now, again, Navajo is very similar to Apache. The more north you go, the more rural that land is and you're not really going to live on it. This particular property happens to be north of the interstate. And as you get north of the interstate, the water gets a little bit harder. The well gets a little bit deeper. It's $2,400 for a reason for the entire purchase price. Does that mean it's a junk property? Well, first of all, I don't think that any property is a junk property. I think that you have to match up what you want to do. So I'm just glancing down at the chat here and I see that Leo says he's looking for farmland. Well, if Leo's looking for farmland, okay, and he looks at this particular property, he's going to say, this is a terrible property. And I agree because guess what? Like it's not what you want, but it doesn't mean that it's a junk property because you have to match up. In my experience, you have to match up what you want to do with the property with what the property can offer for you. So again, if you're a bucket 3 user, you're looking for something that's recreational purposes, man, I can't think of a better recreational spot, especially if you're looking for something in Arizona, because look, I mean, you're going to camp out under the stars right next to the Petrified Forest National Park. You want to talk about glamping opportunities? You want to talk about some rural camping that's under dark skies? Well, this is a great property. And you want to talk about affordability? I mean, $100 a month, okay? You can't even buy groceries for $100 a month. You can't even buy one trip to the grocery store for this amount. And I mean, like my wife and I, we went to dinner. We didn't go to this fancy restaurant the other day. The bill blew me away the other day. I mean, it was a good restaurant, but I was like, wow, it was close to this. And I was like, seriously? It's just the two of us? So think about it. Like, think about the value that gets created there. And, you'll see that you have to match up to the right property with what you're trying to achieve. Navajo County, 5 acres now, 5 acres. So we jump in size, $9,000 in total purchase price, $456 a month, $178 a month for 48 months. And again, this is not your property that you're going to build a mansion on or, your dream home. Why? Because there's no power to the area. Not yet, at least. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't pull power to the area. It doesn't mean that it's not there. But when you look at a picture like this, let's make this big. When you look at a picture like this is really telling you that this is basically a property that is going to be that longer term investment. That's that bucket 4 group. It's going to be something for recreational bucket 3. This is going to be something that you're going to, if you want to do something off the grid, well, this is a great property for that. However, one of the things that I'm seeing here that I really, really like is you'll notice in the headline up here, let me switch back. You'll notice in the headline right there, it says 4 properties in 1. Now, what does that mean? Well, as you just saw from the previous property, that previous property was like 1 1/3 acre, 1.33 acres. And this one we're seeing at 5.28 acres. So typically the properties in this area are about 1 1/4. That's the typical acreage. So what we have here is we have 4 properties. They're probably side by side, and the seller is selling all 4 of them at the same time. What I like about that, what I like about this particular type of a property, and the reason I think that this is a great deal, is because what you're buying there is, again, 4 individual properties right next to each other. Now, if you ever wanted to sell off 3 of them, for example, okay, so 3 of them, well, ultimately, when you sell those 3, you don't have to go through the county and say, well, I want to subdivide this thing. It's as simple as just saying, I'm going to sell this one, because they're all 4 separate, but you get to buy all 4 at one time. Think about this too. One of the things that people often ask me is they'll say, hey, Scott, I'm looking at a property and I see this property. Here, I'm going to go back. Let me go back a slide for a minute, because I want to make this point to you. People will look at a property and they'll say, hey, look, Scott, this property right here is like 1 acre. It's 1 1/3 acre. So it's 1 lot. And it's $2,400. But I can buy 4 of them together. And 4 of them together, it should be like $9,600, right? Like the price per acre, if it's the same, then there should be, like it should be higher. And here's the thing, is just like when you go to the store, you go to Costco or Sam's Club or something, you buy toilet paper by the roll, you pay one price. You buy toilet paper by the case, you pay less per roll. And when we think about this particular property, and we have 4 properties together, you'll notice that we're paying less per acre or less per property than on the previous one. So it's like buying in bulk. That's what I like about this particular property, is you're buying this in bulk and you're saving money along the way, and then you're making money as well. All right. So if you're looking for something that would fit this is where you would go. Write down that short code right there. You put that into your browser. When the video's over, put it into your browser and you'll learn more about this particular property. All right, let's see what we're going to next. Next one's going to be a nice buildable lot close to power for $77 a month. Less than 100 down, less than 100 a month. Okay, and this is in Cochise County. It's just slightly under 1 acre. And look, there's the power right there. You see the power in the area. You're going to have power in the area. That means that this is a property that, one, I think is just an incredible price, because the power, the infrastructure makes this something that's buildable today. Think about that. Bucket 1, you want to build on the land today, power's there. Bucket 2, you want to build on the land in the future, power's there. That's a win. 3, recreational purposes. I think this one checks off checks it off. And bucket 4, you're looking for a long-term investment. Bam, boom. There you go. All right, let's keep working tonight. If you can't tell from the picture, it's for sale. It's 1 acre, and this is in Mojave. Okay, 1 acre, $2,500. I have not seen a 1 acre property in Mojave for $2,500 in a while. Normally, the 1 acres I see in Mojave, they're like $6,000. So this to me just screams that it's a great deal. And, check it out. Notice also the down payment, less than $100. Everybody's listening to me tonight for these deals. Less than $100, almost everybody. Less than $100 down. But notice the flexibility that you get there. The monthly price, $199, $120, or $99 per month. You'll see that the months change there. What does that mean? Well, because you're dealing with the seller directly, the owner of the land, they have a lot of flexibility. So that means that, they want to work with you. They want to find something that's going to be within your budget. What is it that you want to try to achieve in terms of price? And, and see what you can do. Something's not right here. I don't know if you just caught it as I'm scanning this through. Something's not right here. I'm not sure what's not right because the math of these numbers doesn't add up. Okay, like it really doesn't add up. So I'm gonna, while we're talking here, I'm just gonna skate over to the website here and see what's wrong here because the math does not add up. Here, I'm gonna share it with you. I'll make it big too, so you can see what I'm seeing. So yeah, the property's saying $2,500. Okay, $2,500. There's okay, cash price $2,500, but then the terms price is, you'll see like the math here. I see what happens. Okay, so if you're gonna pay it off faster, if you're gonna do cash, well, they're giving you a cash discount. But if you're going to do up to 72 months, yeah, it becomes a more expensive property. So, ultimately you can figure, which one works best for you. Now I see in the comments too that someone says, hey, what about road access, whatever? Well, the thing about this property is that it has what's going to be called deeded access. And what deeded access means is that there may not be a road to the property that you might see, but it doesn't mean that you can't get to the property. The deeded access simply says that within the deed of every property, you have an easement built in there. Arizona, Nevada, and Texas, they are known for those. You come out east where I live in Florida, you go driving across someone's property, you're not going to be met with a happy camper. Out there, it's going to be a lot more flexibility in there. So, if that's something that you want to learn more about, we'll definitely use that short code just like I did to type that into the browser and learn more about that particular property. Changing over to states now, we're going to go to the state of California. And, we have one property here in California, and it's this one. It's in San Bernardino, 1.25 acres, less than $6,000. Flexibility on the down payment. Down payment's flexible, $199 on the monthly payment, and also the term is 36 months. A lot of people tell me, you hear it all the time, the prices of real estate in California are ridiculous. I have to agree. Some places there are. Not everywhere. It's a blanket statement when people say that. Can you buy land in California? Sure can, right here. Less than $6,000 for 1.25 acre. A lot of flexibility in there. So if you want to learn more about that particular property, again, the short code is right there. You can learn more about this one and see if it's a good fit for you. Changing over to the state of Colorado. Now, there's a listing on here that I want to show you that's in Colorado that didn't make the slide, but I do want to show it to you. So it's up in my web browser, and I'll change here in a second and go over there. But I'm saying that out loud because there's a mental note I'm trying to make too. Here's a property in Costilla, Colorado. You're going to see a lot of land in Costilla because it is probably one of the most affordable counties in the whole state, Costilla. 5 acres. Most of the properties in that county are 5 acres. Now, you'll see sometimes they'll say like 5.18 acres or 4.93 acres. What that's saying, though, is that the county treats all those as 5-acre lots. This particular area, this particular property is what I would call a kind of a mid-grade property. And Costilla has what I would call 3 different grades of land. And I don't mean it to be negative. It's just the way that I think about it. And the way I think about this is you've got land that's down in the valley. This is a lot of land. There's a lot of land down by the Rio Grande River. And down in that valley, you've got these 5-acre properties that kind of open land down there, and pretty much flat because it's down in the valley, down by the river. And those properties are kind of like your good level. Okay, like that's a great spot to start. But as you go up in the mountains, of Costilla, like any other kind of area, including LA, you'll start to go up, and then the mid-tier, this is going to be a mid-tier property. And what makes this a mid-tier is it's kind of like in the middle ground. So it has kind of a mid-tier price. You'll see 5 acres for less than $8,000 on there. $249 down, $159 a month for 60 months. That's the short code that you could go to, and boom, there you go. You got you got an in back into the particular property. Okay, so this is a great property. Notice the views, just beginning views of incredible views of mountains. Okay, so we'll see what else we can find. Now, here's a classic example of the best in this particular area. This is going to be up in the Santa de Cristo Mountains, almost 6 acres, 5.72 acres, $22,000 in cash price, $500 on the down payment, $349 on the monthly payment, and 60 months. Some people ask me, hey, Scott, I'm looking for bucket 3. Is Costilla a good place? It's not. And the reason is because the county is not favorable to recreational purposes. The county got hit very badly with kind of the off-the-grid lifestyle. So basically people were moving down there. They were, moving into the area. They were not following the building codes. They were not, they were camping in tents and all this other stuff. And they said, no. The county has building codes, and the building codes, they started enforcing them. And so if you're going to, think you're going to go camping on the properties, well, you might be able to for a short period of time, but then the code enforcement officer is going to come around and tell you can't do that. And then you got to move off of the particular property. So you want to know what the regulations are. And this is why I talk about the buckets, because once you self-identify with the bucket 1, 2, 3, or 4, now you can start to look for the properties that fit into that bucket, but also you can start to make sure that the rules and regulations of the county match up to your desires on the bucket. So that's why I always say that find the bucket and make sure the county and the property is a good fit for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be very happy. This again is in the county. It's like at the top. You're up in the mountains. You see all the trees in this particular property. I mean, all of this property is surrounded by these trees. These properties, honestly, I got to tell you something. I look at this property, and with the demand for land right now, I look at the price on this thing, and I'm thinking like, wow, this is a good deal. Because I would have thought that a 5-acre, almost 6-acre property in this area would have gone for closer to $30,000. So I won't tell the seller if you don't tell the seller, but I think this is a good deal. Seriously. So if it's something you want to learn more about, you know how to do it with that short code right over there, and put that into your web browser, and off you go. Alamosa County. I like Alamosa. I like Costilla. I like Alamosa. Alamosa is just to the north of Costilla. Again, this is in southern Colorado, so you're not up in the mountains of like Denver area. You're down south. And one of the things I like about this particular area is, again, you're close to New Mexico, so you have that little bit warmer. I'm not saying these areas are warm. I think it's all relative. It's not Florida hot. It's not Arizona hot. Okay, but the thing is that this particular county, because it's rural land, they're going to give you a lot of flexibility. In Alamosa County, for example, if you have a 5-acre property like this one. Well, if you put in a well and a septic tank, if you put that well and septic tank in, well, then you can get a camping permit for your RV for up to 180 days. So again, this is what I'm talking about providing the flexibility. So if you're a bucket 3 user, you're looking for land. And if you're like, bucket 3, what? In the description. But if you're a bucket 3 user, you're looking for recreational land, or let's say that you're, someone that's in the Midwest and you want to kind of like come over, to Colorado during the winter or summer, you want to stay in an RV. Well, this is a kind that will give you flexibility. Think about it. You can own land. You can put in limited resources in terms of the well septic tank. Get an RV permit for $180. I think it's $180 a year for up to 180 days. So very affordable very affordable, and gives you the ability to like literally stay on your own land, which is rare. It's rare. I mean, you can do it in other places, but again, it just really depends. What is this whole price thing? Well, for the 5 acres, it's $9,500, flexible down payment, flexible monthly payment, flexible everything. Why? Well, because this is sold with owner financed land, and because it's owner financed, the seller is saying, I just want to work with you. So let's talk, basically. So make an offer to them. Tell them, hey, I like when Scott says $100 down, $100 a month. See what they can do. Maybe they can do it. Maybe they can't do it. It just depends. Make an offer. If you want to learn more about that property, well, that is how you go learn more. Write that down. Put it in your web browser when the video's over, and right to the property. There you go. Okay, going back to Castilla, let's talk flexible, $100 down. Okay, flexibility, 5 acres, $100 down. I love it. I love when they do that. Rob C says, how do you find all the information on what can be done on these properties? Okay, first, great question. The way that you find it is write that down and go learn more about the particular property. Then you can call, once you like identify and you want to know exactly what can be done on the property, call the county where it's located and talk to the planning and zoning department. And if you call the planning and zoning department, they will tell you, oh, well, you got to give them the information, like the parcel number or something. You give them that, and they'll say, oh, well, this is everything you can do with the property. Guess what? There are some counties with no planning and zoning department. What does that mean? It means that you can do whatever you want to with it, which I'll talk more about that in a future week or two, hopefully, as I have an update on Tennessee, but for now I don't. But yeah, okay, like that's something that's really kind of cool is call the planning and zoning department, tell them the property that you're looking at, and they'll tell you everything about it. That's a great topic that I might do a little bit more exploring on to help you as well. So again, here's a property, $100 a month. You can afford this thing. You want to learn more about it? Well, then go to that shortcut, and let's go to our next particular property. Staying in Costilla, 2.63 acres. Now, this is starting to go up in the mountains a little bit more. So you'll see it's not in the valley. It's up a little bit, power in the area. But it's not a 5 acre property, but notice the power poles there. Notice how you've got the power poles there, $199 down, $149 a month for 38 months. This is a great property. My gut tells me that my buddy, I could be wrong here, but my gut tells me that my buddy Larry is selling this. And if so, Larry's a great guy, but this is the type of properties that Larry typically gets involved with. And, whoa, what did I do there? I messed that one up. And if you want to learn more about that property, check it here. Rob C., I see the comment about the plan and zoning department. I got it on my list, okay, so I'll get to it. Thank you for that idea. All right, staying in Castilla, another 5 acre property. Now, this is down the valley. So this is down the valley. It's near the Rio Grande River, 5 acres, $7,900. Think about this one for a second. Now, this is where you start to see value, because whenever you start to look at these properties over and over and over again, this is what I love about people who are, this is what I love when you guys show up, because when you start to look at these properties every single week, you start to identify value. To me, when I love looking at these properties, because when I see them all the time, like I do every week with you guys, ultimately what happens is you start to see that, oh, well, that one seems like it's on sale. It's like going to the grocery store because you see something on sale. You're like, I see this price for $100 every week, but now all of a sudden it's on sale. Now, why am I even bringing this up? Because look at this. This property, this is a typical price for this type of property. This is that base level property in Costilla County. 5 acres for $8,000. This is about the price point that I see. But let me go back in space here a little bit, because look at this property. Remember this one? This was the first one we talked about tonight. Think about the value here, because now you're up in the mountains. Look at the price, okay? Now you've got a better view than the one I just showed you. I'm just being honest. This is a better view than this one. This property should actually be higher price. And again, don't tell the sellers. This property should actually be a higher price, just like this one should be a higher price based on what I'm seeing in the marketplace today. So when I see a property like this right here, I know, well, this is the baseline. This is what I would compare it to. And then when I see something that's up kind of in the mountains higher, I start to see the value. I hope you can see that too. I like to point that out to you because when you study these numbers or when you look at them every week, you start to see properties that are on sale. And when they're on sale, bam, now you've got something there. John's from Newport Richey. I'm in Pasco County too, John. So glad you're with us tonight. All right, Teller, Colorado. We don't see a lot of Teller, Colorado, but when we do, man, do they go fast. Less than $24,000 for the entire property, $2,250 down, $297 a month for 81 months. So again, this is a buildable property in a very desirable area of Colorado, with lake access, by the way. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, this is going to be a buildable lot. Go here. Now, be careful because I didn't study this one up before I started talking to you about it. I look at them, but I didn't go into details here. You want to make sure that this property, it might be in a property owner association. I'm not 100% sure on that. So just double check, make a note of that. Because if it is, you want to make sure that you're okay with that. So just make sure of it. It wouldn't kill it for me because ultimately this is a buildable lot with lake access and I like being on the water. So, okay, all good. All right, Fisherman's Paradise. No, Fisherman's Paradise is Florida, not Colorado. Maybe freshwater fishing, I don't know. 5 acres from the Rio Grande River. Okay, now we talked about this, right? We talked about the fact that, okay, the valley, 5 acres in the valley, that's down by the river. So this is down by the river. Sounds like a song. Now you start to see that this property is $6,000. Think back a few slides to the 5 acre property down in the valley. That was how much? It was like $8,000. So is this one on sale or is the other one overpriced? I think this one's on sale. Okay, so this is what you get from being a student of these properties every week. $129 down, $119 a month for 60 months. And again, if you want to learn more about that one, well, the short code is right there. Okay, you can learn more about it right there. Here we go. Another one down by the river. See, this is why I said that the other one wasn't overpriced, because this seems to be the going price. I think the other one's on sale. Costilla, 5 acres, $8,000, flexible terms with $100 a month or less. Again, what can you buy for $100 a month? Land, you can. Sure you can. So if this is a property that you'd like to learn more about, again, the short code is there to help you to find what you want. Before I move on to Florida, I wanted to show you, there was another property here. Hold on a second. There's another property I want to show you that's here in Colorado. I made a note of it to share it with you because it wasn't on my slides. But yeah, this one. Let me bring this one up real fast. Before we move on to Florida, let me bring this one up. Let me make it big here. This is a property by my buddy Landon, okay? And Landon is selling this property. And what I wanted to show you is it wasn't on the slides. It should have been, but there was a technical glitch. But what I wanted to show you here is that Landon has a great property here. Now, this property is in Costilla. This property is a 5 acre property. It's in an area called Wild Horse Mesas. I would say that this is a great property. Notice the taxes here, $34.32. Okay. Now, let's see. In the comments here, in the comments, it says, is there any land anywhere where you do not have to pay taxes on? Is it possible to ever own land totally free? And the answer to that is no. I don't know of anywhere in America where there's no property taxes. Okay. I haven't found it yet at all where there's no property taxes. Now, let's go back to the question that was asked. Can you live completely free on land? Well, check this out. The taxes on this thing are $32 a year. A year. I don't know. That's pretty close to free to me. There's areas of Apache County, and we just talked about Apache County in Arizona. But look, Apache County, I've got a tax bill here. I don't think you guys can see it. I don't think I can make that. I can't make it come into focus. The reason I'm even showing you this is that the taxes in Apache County for this 1 acre property, $3.52. So you can't necessarily get rid of the property taxes, but the property taxes are not always there. Follow-up question was, would you have to add that RV tax to stay 180 days in the RV? In Alamosa County, you have to pay the $180. There are other areas where you can stay in an RV. We'll talk about that. There are other areas where you can stay in without having to get an RV permit. And in fact, I've got one of them I'll show you tonight that I absolutely know of that we will show you before you get off before we end the video tonight. So if I think about this particular property, the other thing I wanted to show you is that when you look at this, these are actual photos of the property that Landon and his team went out and took. And okay, you'll notice that you've got some snow on there. It's a little bit of an older picture. But the thing about this particular property is even though it's down in the valley, it's something that still has some landscape to it, right? So it's a very affordable property. It's in Wild Horse Mesas. So this is Wild Horse Mesas. And when you look at this particular property, again, 5 acres, affordable taxes. And if you just look at the overall price, $199 down, excuse me, $100 a month for 60 months. Incredible value. And if you want to learn more about that, even though the short code's not on there, it will still work if you just go to, and I'll put here, I'm just actually going to put in the chat here, the actual link. I'll put in the chat for you too if you want to go there. But essentially it would be, elmodo.ws/ this number I'm about to put in the chat, and boom, there we go. It's in the chat. So if you want to learn more about this particular property, be sure to check out right here. But let's move on to Florida because we've got some cool properties here in Florida for you. Citrus County, Florida. So it's about an hour and a half north of Tampa. And look, a lot of flexibility here. 0.51 acres on a buildable lot. Other homes in there. You got road access, incredible property, $269 a month. Check this one out if you're looking for something that's buildable in Florida. Great value. And again, Citrus County, it's on the Gulf Coast of Florida. I love the Gulf Coast of Florida. It's my favorite coast to live on. I've never lived on the Atlantic side, but I've been over there and, check it out. All right, here we go. Clay County, Florida. This is up near Jacksonville. This is on the other side of the state, up near Jacksonville. 0.32 acre, less than $30,000 buildable lot. So you'll look at it. Let's make this screen big again. You'll notice that there's other homes in the area, nicely untouched oak trees on that property, $1,500 down, $473 a month for 84 months. Okay, so a great property long-term, nice long-term hold. If you're a bucket 4 person, you want to hold land long-term, this is one that is going to continue to go up in value. Someone is going to pay top dollar for this property at some point in the future. When? I don't know, but this is a great long-term investment. Bucket 2, you're ready to build in a couple years? Boom. Bucket 1, you're ready to build today? Boom. Okay, not a homestead, not farmland, sorry. Bucket 3, you want to camp out? You're out of luck. Not going to happen on this particular property. All right, keep moving. Brevard County, the Space Coast, over near the Kennedy Space Center, 0.12 acre property. Again, buildable. It's not a massive property, especially when you look out west at some of these large lots. But you know what? 0.12 acre property, you can build a structure on there that you want, $14,500, and you're going to be off to the races with this one at $750 down and $303 a month for 60 months. Moving on, here's a property in Northport, Port Charlotte in Northport, $320 a month for 50 months, and it's $500 down. Total purchase price is $12,375. All right, here's what I'm seeing. Here's a property in basically the Port Charlotte, Northport area, $12,375. Now, I don't know, a couple years ago, these properties were going for, about $9,000, and the prices continue to go up. What's going on in Florida? Well, a lot of people are moving to Florida. A lot of people are leaving the Northeast. They're coming to Florida. They're going to Texas. They're going to Tennessee. A lot of movement coming into Florida. So the housing and real estate market is going crazy in Florida. Here's the thing. This property right here, I want you to take note of the price, because I'm about to show you that a property very close to this one in a similar neighborhood, similar type of property, that's probably more accurately priced. I think this one's on sale is what I'm trying to say. If you're looking for something in Florida, in the Sarasota area, make sure you write down that number, because I'm about to show you one in Charlotte County, Florida, that's more, but I think it's the right price. I think this one is a value, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I've said it too many times. It's a value, because look at this one. Here's another buildable property in booming Port Charlotte. That's right, booming Port Charlotte. Power is there, county water is there. How much is it? $17,250. Yeah, I think that $17,250 is the right price for this property. It's very close. That makes the one I just showed you, it's on sale. You walk into instant equity, and isn't that what we all want? We want equity in our return on our investment. Think about it. You could buy it for $12,000, sell it for $17,000. I know a guy just like you. Me and you, okay? He went on landmodo.com. He found a property that he was interested in like almost one of these properties. He bought the property, and I don't exactly remember what the price was. I want to say it was around $12,000. And that was about a year and a half ago, I think. And basically the market in this area has ballooned so much. He basically sold that property to a builder for $25,000. Wow, that's huge. So you really want to think about, what's going on with these properties, and think and look for the opportunities, because those are the opportunities that are there. I'm not saying it would happen to you, but essentially, if that guy can do it, well, so can you. And look, here's Lehigh Acres right here. Lehigh Acres is another one of those West Coast properties. Lehigh Acres is basically the most in demand, or I guess fastest growing city in the Southwest Florida area, and $8,250 for a property there. I think this property's on sale. It's probably actually higher than this, but essentially, if you want to learn more about that, the short code is right there. All right, let's keep working now. We're going to move states here. Check this one out. I always complain about the map, like the map looking like we got our graphics from an election. I told the team, they heard me, because they changed this one and says, "Welcome to Indiana," because we've never done a property in Indiana before, but not on this show. But here we go, Madison, Indiana. Look at the steal of a price on this thing. I think it's a steal. I mean, I don't really have anything to compare it to, but when I look at a quarter-acre buildable lot in Indiana for $6,500, $650 down, and let's talk, you got a lot of flexibility in there. So if you're looking for land in Indiana, I got one right here. As long as it's a good fit for you. But if it's not a good fit for you, then it's not a good fit for me. So don't do it. All right, we're going to go to Nevada. Gosh, man, I'm afraid to say it now because I got in trouble in another video. Someone didn't like the way I said it. I'm sorry. That's the way I say it. All right, in Elko. Check this property out. I love this property. I saw this before the show. 40 acres in Elko. Now, what I think is cool about this is you got BLM land adjacent to it. What is BLM land? Bureau of Land Management. It's the government land. Now, there's a debate on another video I did where someone's saying that BLM land is unconstitutional. I don't think that's, I don't know. Unconstitutional, not unconstitutional. I think it's constitutional, but I don't see where in the Constitution it says that the government can't own land. But someone said that. So I don't know. You decide what you want to believe, and that's all cool. But check out this property. Think about the terrain that's there. Think about the terrain that's on this property. You got road access to the property. So you've got a nice structure on there. You want to talk about a long-term investment? Boom, bucket 4, here you go. Bucket 3, recreational land, you got it. You want to live there in the future? I think you got this thing. And you want to live there today? I think that if you're going to live there today, I think it's going to be off the grid. You got to read the description. But you've got government land all around you, so no one's going to build. Look at the bald eagle mountain behind you. And check this out. I always like this. when the state line is like right there, I think that's always cool. I always wanted to buy a property that's on a state line or even the country line. I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm kind of geek out about that whole county line, state line thing. I think it's kind of cool when things change, but that's just me. All right, let's move properties now. Let's move states. Going to North Carolina. I don't think we've seen, we've seen a property in North Carolina just last week too. But check out this property, Brunswick, North Carolina. Basically, nice road access there. Almost a half an acre of land, 62,000, 10,000 down, and lots of flexibility on there. I'm not sure that road is actually curvy like that. I think that the old mapping system gave us a problem with the map. But check out the buildability of this lot. Now, if you're looking for a property, I'm just looking at this. If you're looking for a property that you could put a mobile home on, this is probably not it. Okay, if you're looking for a property that you want to build long term, this is probably one that I would look at. Notice that it says that it's with a marina and a clubhouse. Marina and clubhouse says to me Property Owners Association. If I'm buying a property for the long term, I'm a bucket 4 buyer, I'm thinking long term investment. As much as the marina and clubhouse sound cool, I got to tell you something, the fees will eat you up. Don't do it. If you're going to build a property, you want to build and you want to put a house on there now, and you want to live in a community where there's a marina and a clubhouse, okay, you look at it. That's what I think. A lot of times people think, well, oh, it's got a Property Owners Association. Bad. Well, it's not bad. It just depends on what you're trying to do with it. So make sure that it's a good fit for you. And I think that if you make sure that a property is a good fit for you, well, then it will definitely be a good fit. You just have to make sure it's a good fit for you. Moving states to Oregon here. And as we go to Oregon, what do we have? We have a property that's in Klamath, basically just over half an acre. Notice the lake that's back there. You're very close to the lake. $15,000 for this particular property. This is a very, very nice property. Very nice property. So again, if you're looking for that lake escape in Klamath, well, this is one for you. There's the short code to it, and go and check that one out. Now, I don't officially have a property in Texas. It's not on a slide, but I do want to talk about a property that I know of, and I'm going to give you the code for it because I want you to learn more about this if you're looking for some Texas property. So there's a property that I'm familiar with, and I'm going to put it in the chat here for you as well. So if you're here, you're going to see it. Boom, I just added it to the chat, but let me show you this particular property. This particular property, when you go there, you're going to see that it's sold. Okay, and it was sold, but this is a property that came back as a foreclosure. It's a new property that just came back as a foreclosure. I can tell you that this land has actually gone up in value. These properties are now selling for $30,000. And, if this is a property, if you're looking for 20 acres off the grid in Texas, this particular land is in Hudspeth, Texas. Hudspeth is right next to El Paso. And the thing about this particular land is that this property has road access. It's dirt road access. All of the properties are surveyed. Every property in this community, in this ranch, is surveyed. Additionally, they all have survey stakes in the ground. So what does that mean? It means it's buildable. Now, earlier tonight, we were talking about RV land, and is there properties that you can stay in an RV in? And the thing is that, every county is going to have a different set of rules. Every county is going to, have their own structures in here. We also talked about what can you build on the property. And I told you that if the county doesn't have a planning and zoning department, well, then you can do whatever you want. Hudspeth County, and I'm going to make this screenshot big again. Hudspeth County is a county that does not have that planning and zoning department. These are actual drone pictures of this particular lot. These little things down here, well, this is free roaming cattle. Okay, like you've got free roaming cattle over here, and you've got road access in this particular area. Again, see the cows? You got road access here, and basically there's no rules, no restrictions. You wanna take your RV out there and camp? on your property, absolutely go ahead. Again, it's surveyed so you know right where it is. It's staked so you know right where it is. You go right to it. You can camp on there. You want to camp in your RV? Be my guest. You want to camp in a camper, like a tent? Go ahead. You want to build whatever you want to build on there? Go ahead. Taxes. Let's talk about the taxes. Very, very affordable. These taxes are going to be, probably less than $100 a year. Okay. Think about that for a minute. No rules, no restrictions. So when we think about like these cities where, you're in the city and you got lots of rules, restrictions, what you can and can't do on the property. You start to go out to more rural land and there's no rules, no restrictions. If that's what you're looking for, you can find these particular properties. And again, I gave you the short code in the description, but I'll share it with you again too. Here is, remember, you can go to landmodo.com. I'm sorry, you can go to lmodo.ws/17460, and it will take you right to this property. And as I said, these are properties that today are selling for $30,000, but this property came back from foreclosure. And if you want to learn more about this particular property, contact Jamie. You can click on this link right here to contact her, or you can call her right here and tell her that you're looking for one of those 20-acre properties. If you tell her you saw it on the Landmodo video, then tell her you want the foreclosure deal, and she'll hook you up. Okay. And this is a property that you can get for about $180, well, about less than $200 down, probably less than $200 down, less than $200 a month. Lots of flexibility on there. Great property. If that's what you're looking for, no rules, no restrictions, it's there. I got a lot more land coming in the next couple of weeks. No rules, no restrictions. We've talked about Tennessee. I know there's, some of you are waiting for Tennessee stuff. I'm waiting on the surveyor to give me an update on the Tennessee stuff. And if you're like, Tennessee, what? Stay tuned. I got some cool unrestricted land coming to you in Tennessee. I hope that you found a land connection tonight. I hope you found some property that you're looking for. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm sharing with you the new properties from this week. I'm glad you're here. Keep searching for your land. And you know what? You're going to find it. And I can't wait to see what you do with it. I'll see you next week. See you in the next video. Take care. Good night.